How are you doing today? So I've been, as you know, been thinking about the real estate investing landscape. What is going on? What does all of this stuff really mean for the consumer, right? The owner occupants, because again, when I can figure out how the owner occupant is impacted, it really can help my real estate investing business. So what I wanted to do here was talk about 8 things that I see coming over the next 24 months. I'm sharing each of them individually with you because I would love to get your input. I'd love to hear what you're thinking because each of these 8 things can directly impact your real estate investing business, my real estate investing business. So it is important to look at these 8 things. First off, ask if you believe them, if you see them coming like I do. And if you do, what chess moves can you do now to benefit from what we see in the future? And if you don't agree with me, what things can you do now to benefit in the future? The thing about real estate investing that I've always liked is the more data, the more you learn your market, the more of an advantage you get. And when you have that ability to kind of reach into the future in your local market, you really can make wise investment decisions. So again, I want to share with you the 8 things that I see coming because I want feedback. I want to know if you think I'm wrong. Want to know if there's anything I'm missing. Again, this is over the next 24 months. So no particular order, just how they came to me as I was writing these down. 1, higher taxes. I think higher taxes has to come. We are spending to get through this health scare, which is absolute the right thing to do. But we eventually got to pay the piper. And I believe all of us could potentially look at higher taxes, both at the state and federal level. I also think there will be, I don't know what you want to call them, tax loopholes that are closed. You could think about in California, Prop 13 going away, which would be crushing to lots of people. You could think about raising the capital gains tax, right? You got to pay for this somehow, and I think it's going to fall on all of us. I certainly hope it falls on corporations as well. So I think, there's going to be generally higher taxes across the board, including corporations, which obviously means if they're paying out more in taxes, they have less to hire and invest and all of that. So there's big ramifications of higher taxes than just the individual, right? If it really hits the companies, we shall see what happens there. Next up, I think something that's in our future is higher inflation. I don't think hyperinflation, but I think inflation from like 2 to 3.5, 4% is probably pretty likely starting in 2021 or maybe 22. And again, you can inflate your way out of a debt bubble, which again has lots of ramifications. Food's more expensive, clothes more expensive. It's just one way to get out of this, but I do think inflation is coming. I obviously think 2020, as we've talked about many times on this channel, is the year of deflation. Prices are falling on most things as of now. I do not think that is trend worthy. I don't think that extends into next year. I think it's just we shut the economy down and there's supply everywhere, and we've just got to work through that. So I do see inflation. I see inflation going up above 2%. Between what I call 2 and 4%. So yeah, there you go. I agree. Next up is unemployment. We talked about unemployment in our daily show this morning. I think the print was 14.7. I threw away my notes already, but that's what I think it was. I think unemployment's going to be, I think a lot of it goes back, but I think we just have to realize that it's not all going to come back. What I see is unemployment's being really sticky at 8% and higher. I think there are going to be a lot of people that are called back, that go back, but I think there's also going to be a lot of folks that don't. I don't think this will be the V-shaped recovery or even a U-shaped recovery that we've been talking about. I think it will be far more like the Nike swoosh or the check mark or whatever you want to call it, right? Quick down and you know, it's going to be a slow process up. And I think one of those numbers that's going to prove very sticky is unemployment. And I do think it's going to be sticky at 8%. So, yes, I agree with that. Next up is forbearance. Forbearance is something that I've talked a lot about on this channel. It's obviously evolving as kind of the rules change. Initially, the answer was, hey, you get 90 days, no questions asked. You owe me all the money on the fourth month. I created a video called The Dark Side of, I think it was called The Dark Side of Forbearance. And if that stuck, lots of stuff was going to be coming on the market because of short sale and foreclosure. That is now been changed or modified. Looks like there's going to be lots of other options other than pay me all at one time. So I think forbearance is going to help some folks. Initially, I thought it was maybe 40%. I think maybe now it helps 60% because if they really just chop up the debt and then either raise payments a couple $100 or really just call it a timeout, stick it on the end. I think maybe it helps 60%. But again, if unemployment is sticky on the way down, it can't help everybody. Forbearance is there will be stress in the system, and there will be people that owe more money than they can pay. And we are going to have some short sales and foreclosures, and the answer is going to be creative financing. So I think forbearance will prove helpful for greater than 50%, which is awesome. But I do see forbearance creating opportunity and stress in single family and multifamily in 2021. I do not see it impacting a lot of things this year because, shoot, they can get a year forbearance, right? So that puts everything into 2021. Multifamily, I think the cracks really start to show really in 2021 and 22. I really see that as being a challenge because they can't, if they have bridge debt, bridge loans, 2-3 years, that debt comes up every year for review. I think there will be some structurally unsound deals that were bought at the peak that needs to be processed out. I do think that means the equity investor loses everything, I'm sorry to say. I do think these buildings retrade on the first debt, right, the first lien position. Some of them will hit the market, but it will be, a lot of it will be just debt. You know, somebody comes in and buys the debt, buys that first position. So unfortunately, there are going to be lots of limited partners who got into deals in the last couple of years, especially if it was a value add play that relied on bridge debt. It's going to be, there will be some pain, but you know, there will be some extend and pretend as well. So it's not the world is on fire. But as we talked about yesterday, I think it was Green Street Advisors, values are already coming down, even in the highest of high class assets in that REITs buy, right? I think it was down 9%, I think 9.4, something like that. But again, watch yesterday's video for all of that. But I think multifamily, we start seeing opportunities in 12 to 18 months, especially for value add stuff. Here's one, mortgage rates. I think mortgage rates are above 5%. That's crazy, right? I think mortgage rates are above 5%. I actually think mortgage rates will be above 6%. But when I wrote that down, it freaked me out. So I chickened out a little bit and said 5%. So you know what? We're going to split the difference. We'll call it 5.5%. I think mortgage rates for owner occupants, which today some people are getting in the low threes, and I've seen a couple people tell me they got in the high twos. I think it's 5.5% or higher. What does that mean for prices, right? A lot of people buy houses on mortgage payments, and if interest rates are a full 2% higher, certainly wouldn't want to be buying in the high end, that's for sure. So again, mortgage rates will be higher. Some of that will be risk premium because I don't see the Fed raising rates. It'll just be risk premium and overlays and things of that nature. But I think mortgage rates are higher than we expect. Again, remember, if we think about that in 2 years, what does it mean you should do today, right? That's the thing to think about. I do think there's more renters. I think this is the second housing related thing, right? This forbearance, the stress that families are going to be feeling. I think it's just the second thing where people go, you know what? I don't like owning a home. My brothers, sisters, next door neighbors, dog walker, lost their home because they did this or did that, and my great uncle did this during the housing crash. I just think it's more reasons not to own. I do think if ownership today is I don't know, what did I see, 60, no, 57%, no, 61 today. It's going to be lower, right? I think we have a renter nation growing, probably by 4 or 5 percentage points over the next couple of years. Again, consumer psyche is being damaged again. Right when we were starting to forget the '08 crisis, it's happening again. And then the last one, and this is what excites me when you put all of these chess pieces on the board, is I think the demand from renter nation is going to be disproportionately in single family homes. I really do. I think there will be people doubling up in single family homes versus apartments. There's going to be a far more work from home culture. And people are going to realize, wow, it's a lot easier to shelter in place and do all of these things when you have a house versus an 800, 900 square foot apartment. You're not sharing walls with neighbors and things of that nature. So I think the single family house rental is going to be the best asset to own for the next decade. That's saying a lot. But I just don't know how you look at all these other pieces and you don't buy single family rentals. And again, learn your market, all those things I talk about all the time. So those are the 8 things I see. I see the last one being demand for single family homes going up. So let me know what you think. Any of these 8 you disagree with, please tell me. If you think there's a 9 and 10 that I've missed, tell me. This is where I need your help because again, I'm making investment decisions that will impact millions of dollars of capital over the next couple of years on these 8 things. So I'd really love to hear from you. Let me know what you think. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe, stay healthy. Don't forget to exercise. If you're staying at home all day, make sure you get out, do a little walk, wear your mask, get some exercise. All right, everybody, take care of yourself. Have fun. Bye.